The hip hinge should be an essential exercise in your training program. Improving movement and supporting the hips helps strengthen the posterior chain. For those that don't know, the posterior chain consists of the muscles groups on the backside of your body consisting of your calves, hamstrings, glutes, and your spinal erectors. As you may know, the hip hinge helps get your glutes and your whole posterior chain stronger, which benefits athletes and anyone looking to increase muscle and power in those areas. The biggest advantage of the 3-point dowel contact is that it's an objective sign of your spine's position, which means if any of these 3 points lose contact with the original setup positions, you'll know that unwanted compensatory movement will happen somewhere in your spine or along the region of the spine. The two most common compensations are the head coming off the dowel into a flexion leading with the mid-back, and then the dowel losing contact with the tailbone, which indicates lower spinal flexion or posterior pelvic tilting. Using the dowel to groove the hip hinge with the maintenance of the spinal position is a great coaching and motor learning tool. As you sit back, bend your knees slightly. As your hips go back, shoulders come forward. Chin should remain tucked throughout the whole movement. At the bottom of the movement, you'll hold, then you'll stand up tall, squeeze your glutes, quads to finish the movement. The resistance band is wrapped around the hips to overemphasize squeezing the glutes at the top, which is the lockout position, whether it's the RDL or a heavy set deadlift. Got to be able to load in order to explode. You've heard me say that millions of times, but one day it finally clicked into my head that I was able to load without any restriction and in the proper way. The better I am to fire out. So that'll increase my speed, come out of blocks at a 40-yard dash. It'll also increase my vertical jump, increase movement. So these are important things that we could take from a form perspective and into the weight room, and now we're building the proper muscles with the proper firing muscle, because we always want a explosion rather than an implosion. If you get an implosion, you're firing with the wrong muscle patterns, which maybe with your back or your hamstring and your glutes are off, then we're going to have some issues. You're going to have some injuries. So these are important because we want to be able to correct form first, and then not just correct, we want to master form first. We want to be able to teach. That way you'll be able to load up the bar, and then that way once you transition that into your field of sport, whether you're trying to increase your speed, power, your vertical jump, now you're seeing how those little steps, how we say trust the process, those steps of you learning, applying it, and now you're having a competitive advantage. You're able to jump higher, you're able to run faster. So again, smash the like button. All right, we're going to continue to give you these videos to improve your knowledge on movement, on exercises, and again, be ultimate. Don't ever settle for average.